New discoveries about gravity. New calculation of gravitational frequency in solar systems. New discoveries of the structure of gravitational force lines or gravitational fluxes and its general model. The possibility of data transmission tens, hundreds, thousands of times of the light speed in the universe. The possibility of creation of a speed close to the speed of light in a spacecraft. Discovery of the theory of everything. Creating a gravity power plant using gravitational turbines to get a strong and clean energy everywhere and everlasting at any time. One, new calculation of gravitational frequency in solar systems. It is clear that all the stars and planets revolve in orbits around each other, which there are gravitational force lines or gravitational fluxes between them, and the effect of these lines creates stability and balance among planets and stars. In fact, it can be said that the force related to kinetic energy of planet is always in action with the gravitational force lines and causes equilibrium, and the kinetic energy of the planets has been always equal to the energy of the gravitational waves. It also balances the planet in its orbital path that continues its way with a specific velocity, a specific orbit, and so on. As a result, the kinetic energy must be equal to the gravitational energy. Where n is the number of force lines passing through the surface of the planet. Note, according to the calculated energy of the photons, which is as follows: primary energy minus rotational energy equals effective energy. That this formula has already been proven as a formula for energy of photon and electromagnetic waves, and its paper has been published and distributed. The relationship between the energy of a planet and electromagnetic waves is as follows. As we said, n is the number of force lines passing through the surface of the sphere, so we have and finally the gravitational frequency will be equal to gravitational frequency is equal to kinetic energy per 5 times r squared. Important notes. Although it seems that the properties of the central star do not take into account in the above relation, it should be noted that the effect of the central star force is on the planet's speed v. In fact, it can be said that the speed amount of planets is the effect of the central star force. Gravitational waves can be considered as missing, strong, abundant, and effective waves, but they are imperceptible. It should be noted that gravitational waves can have a lot of energy and performance, like the conversion of hydrogen to helium in stars. The energy of these gravitational waves can be used on Earth as an energy source. By comparison, the amount of gravitational energy between Earth and Sun is equal to billions of the energy of the atomic bomb without using it. Now, according to this formula, we calculate the gravitational frequency for the Earth. 10 to the power of 46 is the number of photons that pass through the Earth's surface in an ideal condition. But due to the possible empty spaces between the fluxes, this number will be reduced to about 10 to the power of 45. As a result, it can be said that, in reality, the gravitational frequency is less than this value. For example, the real gravitational frequency of the Earth should be in order of 10 to the power of 18 Hz. Based on the above equation, the amount of gravitational frequency calculated for the planets of the solar system will be as follows. And according to the results, the position of gravitational waves in the electromagnetic waves spectrum will be as follows. Two, new discovery of the structure of gravitational force lines or gravitational fluxes and its general model. The planets have a strong, stable, and coordinated relationship with their suns in such a way that they travel without slight differences in their specific orbit and period. Having differences shows inconsistency and irregularity. According to this ideal regularity, force lines can be imagined for the planets, as shown in the below figure. For example, the number of fluxes that pass through the Earth is 10 to the power of 46. Regarding the size of the Sun's surface relative to the Earth, actually a set of 10 to the power of 46 force lines or gravitational fluxes, which passing through the Earth spins and goes to the Sun and returns again. Given that the photon has both external and internal motions, and the frequency of electromagnetic waves is in the range of 10 to 10 to the power of 20 Hz. The higher the frequency of electromagnetic waves, the more its external motion tends to zero. So in fact, in very high frequency waves, the external motion of the waves merges with the internal motion or converges. As a result of this adjoining, each photon forms a ring bond with the other photon. So, the force lines or gravitational fluxes are a wide loop from one photon to another. As the nuclei of the suns are so compact and hot, and the atomic structure cannot be imagined for it, therefore, in the sun, a bunch of photons with small external rotational motion are separated from the electrons. In fact, it can be said that the force lines or gravitational fluxes are a kind of continuous chain state of photons. It should be noted that since the gravity extends throughout the whole universe, and gravity between the suns and all objects in the universe is conceivable, so these force lines or gravitational fluxes continue to the end of the universe. The interesting thing about this model is that the gravitational fluxes pass through everything at the speed of light. They are invisible, and the vertical effect along the flux is so strong, and their flexibility in the perpendicular direction is very high. This means that it is inflexible in the direction of the line between the star and the planet, but flexible in the perpendicular direction. 3. The possibility of data transmission tens, hundreds, thousands of times of the light speed in the universe. Given that there are the gravitational fluxes or force lines from the Sun to all the planets and from each planet to other planets and their moons, if we modulate our data on these force lines with intended frequency, we can exchange the data with a speed of light or even tens, hundreds, and thousands of times of the light speed. Because the fluxes, force lines, have the property of continuity, and in the whole system and galaxy, the fluxes are related to each other, and all the planets and stars are immersed in these fluxes, so that a network structure can be imagined. As a result of this live, continuous, and dynamic network, any planet can be a transmitter and another planet a receiver. In fact, the transmitter and receiver dish is in the size of a planet. In addition, a transmitter could be built on Earth that would emit these waves and cover the entire planet. It should be noted that the frequencies between stars and planets as well as planets and planets, so they have a specific relative frequency to each other, which ranges from 10 to the power of 17 Hz to 10 to the power of 20 Hz. Another point is that gravitational fluxes or force lines are continuously and intertwined through stars and their planets. Also in galaxies, the stars are linked to each other, and in fact it can be said that they have force lines or gravitational fluxes with each other, and as a result they are able to communicate with each other by gravity. 4. The possibility of creation of a speed close to the speed of light in a spacecraft. Due to the gravity flux force lines that have a specific structure, a specific circuit, and a specific network, wherever the spacecraft could be along these force lines and has a favorable frequency or contrary, it can move in the direction of the force lines or gravitational fluxes at a very high speed. In fact, it can be said that the set of gravity flux lines is an invisible road for spacecrafts, as the gravitational force lines or gravity fluxes move at the speed of light, so they can move the spacecraft at a speed close to the speed of light in a corridor with the size of the surface of a sphere. 5. Discovery of the theory of everything. Based on the above, it was shown that the kinetic energy produced by the gravity force is equivalent to the energy of n photons, and the energy equations are as follows. Where m is a very large mass like the Earth, which due to its equilibrium between the Earth and the Sun, as they have a clear equilibrium, is associated with gravitational waves and has energy equal to energy of n photons. Energy of a single photon. In the past, it has shown that the energy formula for a single photon is as follows. Nuclear energy. According to the famous formula of nuclear energy, the equation will be where n is the number of the resulting photons from the existing mass. In addition, during the explosion, radiant energy and gamma rays, etc. will release. Electrical energy. It is very clear that in a word, the amount of current that passes through a lamp is converted into light or photons, which in fact the energy formula of electrical energy are as follows. Where n is the number of photons isolated from the lamp. Magnetic energy. Considering that electric current is directly related to magnetism, and in fact magnetic force and energy is the production of electric force and energy, so we can say magnetic energy is equal to electrical energy. Notice, from the above equations, the following relation can be obtained. Notice, the ratio n is the amount of photons in different objects, and since the amounts of energies are different from each other, the values of n vary, but the form of the equations is the same. Solid comprehensive equation of everything theory, or the equation of the primary energy chart since Big Bang till now. Six, creating a gravity power plant using gravitational turbines to get a strong and clean energy everywhere and everlasting at any time. As the kinetic energy of the planets has the following relation with the gravitational energy, it can be calculated that, according to the above relation, the passing energy through the unit of the Earth's surface is as follows. This is the amount of the energy passing through the Earth's surface by gravitational waves in 1 square meter. It should be noted that this energy is so large and efficient that if it can be used, affordable, clean, and ubiquitous and permanent energy can be produced. Methods of using gravitational waves to generate energy. First method, obstructing method. Using metal alloys, a plate can be created that the force lines be able to impulse these plates and generate the energy while passing, such as the wind that strikes turbines and sails. Second method, co-frequency with the force lines. If we had been able to design an instrument that could synchronize and fluctuate with the force lines as they fluctuate and oscillate, it would have absorbed the energy and used it. Third method, production of gravitational network. As the gravitational waves have a strong and special network, if we create the same network, which is excited due to the passage of gravitational network. Through this network, we have a force that could create energy. Perspectives. How could make a tool to use the gravitational waves for transferring data? The solution for design and create a spacecraft that could use the gravitational force and energy. How could create gravity in spacecraft so its passengers have an Earth-like situation?